back because I'm glad I'm back. Yesterday was a big technical flub. Had a computer that was off, didn't realize it was off, didn't know there was more than one yesterday, a learning curve for me. So hopefully today everybody can send in their comments and we've got everything all squared away. And I promise I didn't make Mike pull every hair out of his head yesterday, but probably close.
I watched it. It wasn't that bad.
No?
No.
Okay. Well, I'm talking about after the show. Trying to get it repaired after the show because we weren't on the SNSN site. We were just on Facebook yesterday.
Oh.
So today's topic is volunteering. Where do you volunteer? What's some, and like I was trying to say yesterday when we talked a little bit about it, only on Facebook. We're not trying to say we're not looking at firefighters, emergency services, and all those people who do everything every day to just be amazing and help us
Right.
community. We're looking for the smaller places that where there's a food pantry or there's a place to volunteer, like a nursing home or a senior center or the smaller programs. I have one here. I'm going to start off with, and if everybody else out there wants to throw in some ideas and locations that they volunteer at or they know people who do, I'm going to start off with Bags of Hope. Bags of Hope is giving hope to children of foster care. What Bags of Hope does is they create backpacks with monograms, personal monograms, and names and stuff on the backpack. So these children have their own personal backpack. And then that backpack is filled with things like little stuffed toys with their names monogrammed on them and all kinds of little things like hats and gloves and socks. And so when these foster kids move from, hang on.
Mm-hmm. Can't hear yourself?
I forgot to put the headset on to make sure.
Can you hear now?
Now
you can hear now?
Now you look professional.
Sorry about it. I didn't mean to stop, but just realized it. But the Bags of Hope is for these foster kids that move from home to home in the foster care system, and they need something that they can call their own, that little bag with those special things for them they can keep in it. So Bags of Hope began in Swansea, Mass. In 2011 and 2018. Connecticut Bags of Hope joined them, and in 2018, Bags of Hope provided 410 monogrammed duffel bags to children in Connecticut foster care. As of 2022, Bags of Hope has provided over 3,600 monogram bags to foster children. So this is why I bring this up, because this is one I've been sponsoring for a few years now, and I know about it. So that's my volunteer.
That's great.
Every year, and I don't know. I usually pay for a bag, whatever it is each year. I want to make sure at least I help one child, and that's how I donate. But they're having a fundraiser. They're having their first annual charity motorcycle ride run on September 30th at the Plainfield Town Hall, 8 Community Avenue in Plainfield, and kickstands are up at 11 a.m. If you want, just put in www.bagsofhopect.org, and you can find it. You Google it, Bags of Hope, you'll find it. It can be found on Facebook also. So if that's my shout out to it. Volunteer organization. Anybody else got anything? We got people out there. We got
Bully Busters.
Bully Busters. Yep.
What is Bully Busters?
That's a good question.
Bully Busters, from what I understand, it's an organization to stop bullying.
Really?
Okay. How do
Where they got
bullying?
a big brother?
Yeah.
No, but I think bring awareness to it when people have problems with it to assist. Am I correct, Kathy? She's the one that said it. Bully Busters.
Speaking of big brothers, they have the big brothers, big sisters, and stuff, right?
That's a volunteer
Yeah.
organization.
Well, they help kids and
Yeah,
kind of like mentor them.
that's right.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
She said yes.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
So Kathy got that.
And you had the was that American Way or that food pantry also?
Oh, at the Gristle School Systems.
Well, that's the food giveaway.
Food giveaway.
Then you have
That's
the food
from,
pantry up the road.
Yeah,
St.
St. Mary's does
The
the
St.
food
Mary's
pantry.
has the food pantry.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. And
So
then,
we collect food for them every once in a while
well, we
when
do
we
too.
stop traffic.
Yeah,
Yeah.
in Plainfield, when we do the Santa run, we have it for Project Pin, people in need.
Yep.
That's a food pantry in Musa.
Okay.
And also the Knights of Columbus Council in Musa supports Project Pin. So I'm a member of the
What is the Knights of Columbus?
The Knights of Columbus is a Catholic religious men's club
Okay.
who do things. We put out we organize coats in the
Mhm.
winter. We do the Tootsie Roll Drive, which
You collect Tootsie Rolls?
for Tootsie Roll Drive is we ask for donations, and if you donate, we offer you a Tootsie Roll.
Oh, cool. I
Um,
like Tootsie Rolls.
but all those proceeds go to Special Olympics.
Okay.
So project, if you see a Knights of Columbus out there with their little yellow can and their yellow vest on, that's for the Special Olympics.
Okay.
So that's another organization I belong to.
It's kind of a part of the Freemasons. That's pretty interesting.
Well, Freemasons, the same
Yeah.
kind of thing. It's with a different religious group, but their goal is to help the community,
Right.
and that's what all these
It's not,
different
it's
organizations.
not a
do.
secret cult.
No, gosh, no. It's just
I
that
love that
it's
one.
not.
Oh, you had the Sunflower Festival.
The what?
The Sunflower Festival?
Sunflower, right? You said?
Right.
The Sunflower Festival. That
Okay.
was this
That
past
was just
weekend.
like a couple weekends
Yeah.
ago.
This last weekend.
The race was this past Sunday.
Yeah. So that's
I mean,
another fundraiser for.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a good question.
We need
to be honest
people out
with
there to
you.
help us. Kathy's probably been one of those. She should be here instead of Richie. I'm
oh,
kidding.
it's something about Make a Wish.
Make a
Foundation.
Wish Foundation.
That's,
okay.
that's
yeah,
what that is.
Okay.
Okay. Bully Busters to provide educational programs that address the issues of bullying and violence, to promote the awareness of bullying law and school policies, to train parents, youth, children, educators, and the community.
Yeah.
So that's wonderful.
Yeah.
She's got a sharp image.
Going back to the festival, you got that run. And what they do is, don't forget, they collect money for the race, and then they hand out money to various charities.
Right. Okay.
So that's
That's a great charity. Yeah,
that's a volunteer
Yep.
type thing.
definitely.
And Kathy, here we go again with a great topic of sharp image.
Yeah, it's across the
City,
street
like
almost.
school supplies every summer they hand out to local families. Oh, that's wonderful.
Well, at one time, the radio station here, Mike used to collect school supplies.
Yeah, that's right. And, yeah, when we were at the other location.
The
because
location, we
had
used
the
to do
room,
that,
yeah, the
and
big room there.
backpacks and everything else,
Yeah,
and
that
then
big
they would
room.
come in and pick out what they wanted.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Yeah, that was like a few years ago.
I remember
that's
that.
nice.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Then think about the bank. I mean, though it's not a nonprofit, but they give money to various charitable
Mhm.
organizations.
oh, do they ever?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do they ever? It's just there's this massive list that Jewish City Savings Bank
Yeah.
help.
Well, that's how we got some of the fire equipment we have at Jewish City.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We don't get a large budget for equipment, and that they donated a lot of the equipment that
Yep.
we have,
Yep.
and it's not cheap equipment.
No,
I
no.
like-
It's the idea that different businesses are helping in a volunteering way. You
Yeah.
know, they're giving of the supplies and what we need to do things for volunteers around here.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
great.
Yeah. Then you got All Paws on Deck. They used to come in the radio station
Yeah.
with a dog to.
Yep.
And they're right here in Griswold, and they do. We focus on
Mhm.
pregnant dogs, so you got that
Or
one.
shelter, right? And
Yeah.
adoption company.
Well, that's good that they animals are just as important
Yeah,
to people to make them part of their lives.
and you
So,
got Compassion for Cats out of Lisbon. There's a cat shelter, and then of course
Mhm.
one that I'm familiar with, which is Kitty Harbor over on
Kitty Harbor.
Glasgow Road.
Yeah.
So they're a nonprofit organization. And those are the pet ones. I mean, we have to mention the pet ones as well.
Oh,
because,
yeah.
Because a lot of people spend a lot of time and they depend on donations, just like everybody else. Unfortunately, a lot of times the animal ones are kind of like sloughed off,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
But so those are three that I know of. I'm sure there's more here. There's a lot of them in Norwich for different
Shelters.
shelters
Yeah.
and stuff. Yeah.
Hmm.
Another one I have on my list here is Tackle the Trail. It's in Putnam. That's where they end. And what it is they do a fundraiser for students going to college, for Quinnebog Valley Community College, students who need that extra money to further their education.
Okay.
They do a nonprofit through the college that does the event Tackle the Trail every year.
Huh.
I didn't know that.
Yeah,
I never heard of that before. Yeah.
yeah,
That's pretty
it's
interesting.
it's a few years old. I know my son and I have been helping out with it for a few years. Trying to think of anybody else. Got anything else out
Yeah,
there?
they have some children ones where you could do like Civil Air Patrol, Young Marines.
Yep.
Those are great organizations for kids that are interested in the military type stuff.
Yep.
You learn a lot through those, a lot of discipline. They have summer camps, and they're all, you have to make an investment as a family, but it's
So it's
time and money and for equipment and stuff. But some of it you can get.
It's like Boy Scouts and
Yeah.
Girl Scouts.
Yeah, you got
type
Girl
thing.
Scouts and Boy Scouts.
Yeah,
as
Girl
well.
Scouts and Boy
It's
Scouts.
all
Oh, they
volunteer.
have Girl Scouts anymore? It's just Scouts now, right?
I don't know.
I think it's Scouts, and you have girl and boy troops.
Really?
Yeah, 'cause
I
they-
really don't know because I've been.
I think I
away from-
saw them a few weeks ago. They were telling us.
Got the 4-H camp just on the road.
Yeah, 4-H. Yeah.
You know, a lot of volunteers there.
Mhm.
You know, it takes a lot of commitment from, even like the high school band boosters and
Or the parent
the
organizations.
parent organizations that raise money, because I did a
Mhm.
lot of that when my kids were going through school.
Mm-hmm. I tried that. It didn't work. Huh?
I was vice president of the music organization that
Oh.
was doing the booster.
I had enough I had to worry about. I couldn't be a part of that.
Well, yeah, it depends on
Yeah.
where you are in life. Some people can have the time, some people don't. You
Yeah.
know?
Yeah, well, think of the little leagues and the
Oh,
baseball.
that's true too.
The baseball
There you
that
go.
you have over here.
Yeah. People
and,
realize all this stuff is volunteer.
All this-
it's all
yeah, all these
volunteer.
things that
There's
was-
nothing. Nobody gets paid for anything.
Yeah.
That's right.
You know.
And what's nice is when you see the parents that come through that their children are going through whatever,
Mhm.
be it baseball or whatever it is,
Right.
and the parents volunteer during the time in which their children are there, and then the next ones come out. And it's nice to see that rotation through,
Right.
continuous volunteering.
Yeah.
Kathy, let's see what she got.
Oh, Habitat for Humanity.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I
Jimmy Carter's favorite charity.
well,
Yeah.
and it's it's really nice because we got the store right here in Plainfield now, the restores. It's
Yeah.
all Habitat for Humanity.
Yeah.
It's nice to see people helping with housing.
Yeah, Plainfield has a lot. Huh?
Well, it's got quite a few programs that
Yeah.
it just keeps working on.
Did you mention the 4-H camp?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, because Laura mentioned the 4-H camp.
Oh yeah.
Well, she was saying it's a great experience.
Yeah.
Do they have a 4-H around here? Like, what's the closest one?
Oh yeah, I would think so because
it's
a lot
right-
of them go to the Brooklyn Fair and
It's right on the
fairs.
you
That's all
guys know,
4-H.
201 past the
Is that where it is?
past the well, that's where it used to be when my sister went.
Oh.
Hmm.
The 4-H, it was just past the
Whatever.
just past Buttonwoods, past the sunflowers.
Really?
Oh, yeah, Jack out that way.
Oh.
I remember. I just know it's out in that direction.
Okay.
When my sister went when we were kids years
Yeah.
ago, I'm not sure if it moved, but I'm assuming it's in the same place.
Oh,
But yeah, it's a great experience to meet different people. Laura says, you get because it's kids
From all over. Right?
all over
Yeah.
different areas, different age levels, and they all work together, and it's a good community thing.
cool. Oh,
We got, like,
yeah, you got Wyndham 4-H too.
Wyndham. Okay.
It says here, yes, it's near Ashford.
Yes,
That's way. Yeah.
that's up by the Boy Scout camp.
yeah.
Yeah, well, then you got that, the one that just burnt.
Oh, that's my father used to volunteer there.
The old gang. What is
It's
it?
MS, right? Multiple sclerosis camp.
Yeah, but that's the one that Paul Newman had. What is that?
That's the one.
Is that it?
Yeah, that's it.
He just built a beautiful building up there.
Yeah, they just rebuilt a lot of the place. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, some of it burned down, like multiple
Yeah.
buildings or something.
right.
So a lot of these things we get to, have our children do, we do, are people helping.
Mhm.
And recently, a lot of these organizations, especially after
Hole in the wall. There you go.
that's
Yeah.
that hole in the wall.
Yeah. Thank you, Mary Beth.
Um, yeah. So it's the idea that these organizations are constantly looking for people. And since the pandemic, life has changed and people aren't volunteering as much. I'm not saying there aren't volunteers out there. There's still a lot of them out there.
Oh, everywhere's hurting for volunteers.
Well,
Everybody is.
Let's get close to home here. Look at all the committees in town.
Yeah,
They're all volunteer,
every single one.
Yep.
except for the ones that, of course, getting reelected. But they're all volunteer. Majority are volunteer.
Well, the
people.
committees and stuff that are actually doing a lot of the back scene work.
Yeah.
They're all
Yeah.
volunteer.
All volunteers.
No stipend even. It's just volunteer.
Right, right, and that's the thing. You know, these are the people that need to be recognized as part of the volunteer system that happens in our society.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I'd say it's not even recognition 100%. It's we need more people to step up and do it because we don't have the manpower either.
Yeah, well,
Because
that-
they need more volunteers.
yeah,
It's,
and that's what's happening. You know, in our emergency services, a lot of times during first shift
Mhm.
years ago, there used to be people who worked second shift who volunteered at the fire department.
right.
But the past few years, it's been really hard to get people during the day from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. because a lot of
I blame that a lot on businesses too, companies and stuff that don't allow them to leave and
To leave.
volunteer. That's shameful, in my
Yeah,
opinion.
yeah, years ago,
And I
it
don't
used to be a
care
big
what they
thing.
do, it's shameful. You
Yeah.
should have, as long as they're not taking advantage of it, you let your volunteers go and help people.
And of course, nowadays in today's world, you know, you just get that confirmation from the fire department.
Yeah,
from
it's a
the
simple
chief,
letter
or
when you're on a
this little
call.
thing, you know, something that's saying, "Yep, so and so was here. Thank you very much."
And it's
for
very
allowing
easy.
me
You
to come."
just have a pre-written letter printed out, and the chief signs it, or officer
Yep.
in charge signs it, and they give it to him and,
And-
say
and-
thanks.
And if you have a person who's in your employment and they're medically trained, that's a positive because you
Yeah.
have an emergency service person in your payroll
Mm-hmm.
that could be there when something goes wrong to take care of things immediately. So I don't understand why they wouldn't allow them to go to take care of the
Yeah,
community.
I
but
don't.
it used to be more so years ago that you
Yeah.
could.
You know, the state actually has a state statute that requires if you're a state employee, they're allowed to respond to calls.
Oh, so state employees are allowed to.
There's
Wow.
actually a state statute,
Wow.
and it could carry down to the municipality. You just have to change a couple words.
A lot of companies do not necessarily firefighters or emergency people, but the other
Yeah,
organizations that you volunteer, they recognize people that do that.
Yep.
Because
Because
it-
Eversource did, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
because they want you to be involved with the community. You know?
Yeah.
That's what they want. A lot of these companies want you involved with the community so that they know who you are and they
Yeah.
know who you work for.
Yep. My cousin got hired basically because of all the different organizations that
Mhm.
he belongs to that they were impressed with and said yes. You know, it was part. I mean, he was qualified for the job. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
He wasn't doing some stuff, but that was part of the reason they really wanted to make sure that he became an employee because he was the person that gave back to the community and they liked that consciousness.
Yeah. And I think it shows that you can multitask. You can do more. You're
Sure.
stand up.
Yep.
You're willing to do stuff well. And
Kathy says being too busy isn't a good excuse. We all are busy. There is always something someone can do to help, however insignificant you think it might be. Well, the organizations
Mhm.
I belong to, I put in 3 or 4 hours here,
Yeah.
a couple hours there.
Yeah.
It's not like you got to put a lot of time in like a job or anything. Whatever you do, most of the organizations appreciate your 2 or 3 hours on a Tuesday or,
sometimes that's the
45
biggest
minutes.
help.
Yeah.
And also what happens too is because when I went through college, one of my classes required that I do something in the community, and so although I was in the fire department at the time, but the professor said, "Can you do a little more?" So I'm like, all right,
Oh, that's
So
not enough.
I
Okay.
went to the Villa Maria nursing home in Plainfield,
Yep.
and played board games
Mm.
with the people living there.
They probably loved it.
They had a fantastic.
Mhm.
So it was just little things like that go for an hour, 2 hours,
Yeah.
visit with people, make a difference in someone's life. Like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well,
So-
high school's making you do
I was
community
just going to
service,
say that I love that's great that they're required to do 10 hours
community service,
community service. Yep.
which could be anywhere.
Yeah.
Even
All the list I just gave to the guys earlier was a hospital and medical services to see what you could do there,
Mhm.
a nursing home, the fire department, a senior center, schools, private or public, community theaters, town rec departments, town halls, community events, daycare centers, churches, environmental groups, and social and community groups. For example, the Lions, something like that.
Mhm.
Doesn't have to be them. Public radio or public TV.
Mhm.
We're volunteers.
We're volunteers. Yeah. Well, yeah.
Yeah.
And just to bring, and then also I got the bottom list of libraries.
Yeah.
You don't know what they're going to need for people restocking.
I just thought about when you said that. For Friends of Patchogue, they go on hikes, but they also do a lot of cleaning of the areas and
Yeah. Yeah.
protection of the park.
Yeah, they just did the cleanup on 38 or something. Didn't
Yeah.
they just make that big cleanup or something?
Yeah, they participate in it.
So Rich's mom goes to Masonic Care and sings for them.
Yes,
Wow.
she plays organ and sings for them.
Wow.
See?
Yeah.
And the senior center in Plainfield, the senior choir they have their annual concert / comedy routine. It's funny. They have a great time, and they raise money for a scholarship at the high school. And then once they got that all done, then they go to the local nursing homes and different events, and then they go to the different town events and stuff, and they sing there.
Wow.
So, hey, you'd be surprised what the seniors are doing. They're really involved, trying to they got the time, and they're trying to make a difference.
Yeah. I mean, giving money to an organization is great, but you can't do everything
That's
with money.
yeah.
You got to have a body there to
Yeah.
assist.
Yeah, because
whatever
the money
you're
sits
doing.
on the table,
Yeah.
and it does nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You have to have people to be able to work.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
do
a lot of
something.
times it's not easy to get volunteers because they don't want to do it. They got some excuse, or they'll come in, and you got to get the right people because you can have a conflict if you got the wrong people.
Right.
That's
Then
true,
You
yeah.
can have people not getting along.
Yeah.
And
you know.
I think a lot of that has to do with building up patience and understanding.
That's
when it comes
great.
to volunteering.
That's the great thing with volunteering too. You learn how to do that.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
you're it's just a diverse. You don't know who's
Mhm.
coming in the group.
Mhm.
You have such a diverse amount of people,
Yep.
different cultures, different ways of thought on different topics, and you all have to work together to accomplish the single
Yeah.
goal.
Yep.
And that helps out a lot. And I think that's part of the reason I think the school systems are part of the reason I think the school systems are having the children for high school graduation or different things that they don't want to do, that they have to do so much community service, because then they're outside that box of school. They're into the community, they're seeing what's going on, and they'll blend in and work better.
Learn a real life stuff. Yeah.
And another thing, I learned a lot of patience when I went through the program for early childhood education at Three Rivers Associates. I had to work with children, of course, from age 5 to 8. And I learned that if you're not willing to say the same thing 100 times a day in different ways, because not every child hears words the same way, that you're not willing to really put that effort in for children, because you have to have that kind of patience. Well, taking that into the public, working with adults, working with seniors who have different ways of looking at things, because their experiences are, a lot of seniors are years ago.
Yeah, I think that applies to every age.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's very versatile when you go out there and start doing this, working with the public, that you benefit yourself so much from it. And I think if people start looking at it that way, more so than the monetary money, that what are they getting out of it as much as what they're giving?
Mhm.
You know?
I think a lot of people, like you said, after the COVID and all that, everybody got used to not doing anything.
Not socializing.
Yeah. And so now it's like, I feel weird. I'm going to go out and volunteer and do this thing with other people.
Yeah.
I want to be by myself and not, I want to sit on the couch and social media play and stuff. And I think now it's time to get back out there and start dealing with real people.
Yeah.
And-
And getting used to communicating to each
Yeah.
other.
Face to face.
Yeah.
75% of any communication is body language.
Right.
So,
Right.
get out there and, right.
I'm
I'd like to see people when I'm talking go,
Yeah.
whatever,
Yeah. Well, but you can, like online, like we're doing,
Yeah.
you can see people's faces and expressions and stuff.
Yeah.
But I think the interaction with people, I mean, I remember being in my early 20s and hanging out at a friend's house, and we're just eating popcorn and watching movies. There's three of us just talking and bullshitting. And it was just, sometimes it was totally silent in the room, and you just go, yeah.
Yeah.
That was it. That was the whole
But
conversation about a part of the movie.
You communicated a lot that way. Yeah.
You didn't even use words. You just And you just an expression like, "Oh man,"
Yeah.
You're just watching the movie. So it's those little things that you sit there and realize that getting out with people you miss.
Yeah.
I mean, sometimes, I gave my example back in the middle 70s. I got involved with the Cub Scouts in Lisbon.
Yep.
And I had, 8 and 9-year-olds at the house. I was a guy and I was a freaking den mother.
Oh, I was assistant Girl Scout
Yeah.
leader.
Yeah.
So they would
My
come.
daughter was in the Girl Scouts,
So-
and my ex-wife.
Awesome.
We were married at the time, but
Yeah.
she was the Girl Scout leader, and she needed assistance, so I was the assistant. And of course, the Girl Scouts adapted to that. There were certain rules that you had to
Yeah.
follow as a male
Yeah.
and with the girls,
Yeah.
and that was fine. I followed it all. And but yeah, I was assistant Girl Scout.
Yeah. So you didn't have to be a woman to be
No, make it
back
work.
then. It just made it work. And
Yeah.
of course, then I evolved and got into the Boy Scouts in Lisbon because I actually was living in Lisbon. And we I had fun because I ended up going to camp with them every summer. I would take a week off from work and go to camp with these kids. And then we went on 3 or 4 different jamborees, one
Wow.
in Canada and then one in Virginia. So it was not only volunteering, but having fun with the kids.
Sure.
Yeah. Because my kid was at that age too. So it was.
They were in it.
Pardon?
They were still in it.
Well, my son
Yeah.
was, yeah.
Yeah, well, my son
Yeah.
was with the Girl Scouts too, because
Yeah.
if my wife at the time and my daughter and I are going,
Yeah.
what do we do with him?
Mm.
So they have a term. It's called tag along. He's a tag along, And when we went camping, my son and I had the same tent. The girls had all their others, and I put up this massive PVC pipe tent, big long tunnel with blue tarps on the top. Put the tables under it. I did all the cooking on this massive grill, and all the other leaders are going, "Okay, I overdid it. I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
yeah.
Just a proud dad doing
It worked.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of these kids are all, late 50s for crying out loud. You see them on the street every now and then.
They probably remember you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
So
So you made an impact.
I would hope so.
Yeah.
yeah. When I volunteered at Ship Hill Elementary for 6 years, the last 6 weeks of the year when I got out of college, I'm running into people and they're saying, "Oh yeah," they're talking about how they went to Ship Hill. I'm like, "Oh, when'd you go?" And well, this girl who was a lifeguard at Plainfield Public School, town hall pool. I says, "Do you remember this guy they used to call Mr. Mike? And when you walked in the cafeteria, if you were talking, he made you go to the back of the line." She goes, "Yeah, I hated that guy." I says, "Well, that was me." He goes, "Oh no."
Nice.
But yeah, I would make the kids do what they had to
Mhm.
do. The rules were, and luckily I was had a very patient principal. We were on track team in high school together, so it worked out really well.
So you made the kids follow the rules,
Yeah, well, pretty much. I gave them the choice of follow the rule or
take the consequence.
There's always something you're going to have to do
Wow.
if you don't do the right thing.
Hmm.
So
Con-
they would just, they
It's an
remember
interesting
that.
concept.
They remember
Yeah.
interesting concept. But there's a lot of them that remember that. And it was, like I said, it was just the last 6 weeks of the school year, and it was for 6 years. And I apparently made some impressions.
Nice.
Wow.
They didn't like me, but that's okay.
Yeah, but
They
they,
did- they
remember
did
who
the
you
right
are.
thing.
They like you
Follow the
now.
Yeah. Oh yeah, definitely.
So they never like the person that makes them follow the rules
Yeah.
until
So-
later.
That's why I say volunteering in the school system if you can. I mean, I know you got to go through the whole process. The whole process was getting fingerprinted and getting
yeah.
an FBI report. And, they got to go through
That's
all that for
relatively-
safety. And I think that's fantastic.
That's
that they do that.
relatively a new thing too.
Well,
Because you weren't
yeah.
always required to do
No,
that.
no,
You
no.
have to do that now because of the things that have happened.
Right.
over
But I
the-
think it's
over the
fantastic.
years.
I think
That's
it's
brand new,
fantastic
yeah.
to investigate everybody who
Yeah.
walks through that door.
I'm surprised it wasn't done earlier, honestly. It
Well,
was
It's
I
all
know this-
background check. And I think that our representative pushed for that
Yeah.
background
in
check.
the last year or two.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think it's a great thing. I wasn't too worried about it because when I worked at the Naval Underwater Systems Center, I had a secret, not a top secret, but a secret clearance, and then I was in the military. So I
You
had-
weren't carried away when you had your fingerprints done at the school.
No, so
No?
yeah, when they did it at the school, it was like, "Oh, this is nothing. I've been through this. Don't worry, I got a lot of. Yeah, I'm fine. You'll find out I'm fine." And they did. It was a lot of fun.
I used to laughed at when my son was in Civil Air Patrol. They made us go get fingerprinted because I was going to be a major or whatever you call it, adult. And I'm like, why don't you just call the FBI? I just had it done like last week for work. Just please just call it. I don't want to keep doing this. This is 3 times a year sometimes. But in the long run, it protects the kids.
That's it.
Well, yeah.
Hey,
I mean, you have to today
Yeah,
because
gotta.
the things that have occurred. Look what occurred with the Boy Scouts. Look what
Yeah.
occurred with
all of them.
the
I know.
church. I mean, look, this has all occurred over the last several years.
but I don't
Mhm.
interfere with families in public or private either. I mean, I don't interfere. But when I go through a store like Walmart and I got a parent berating the child, that makes me uncomfortable.
Mhm.
I don't walk away. I just stand there, and they tend to quiet down and be a little more respectful of the child. I'm not trying to tell them how to raise their child, do the thing, but I'm saying, do you realize as a parent how you're coming off right now?
Yeah.
you know,
And what are you doing?
how
to
that's affecting the child.
What are you doing to the child?
Yeah.
Man? It's not
My kids-
disciplining by berating them.
I mean, I believe in structure and discipline
Yeah.
for children. My kids, I didn't say anything in the store. We got out to the van and I would talk to them for 15 minutes. Like I said, my kids were more scared if I yelled at like, hey, whoa, whoa, whoa. They weren't worried about that. They were worried about when I started talking. Then I got constructive and I got thinking and I went on forever, and that's what they hated.
Yeah. Ours too.
What? He's over mad. Why? Because he's talking. So,
Mine, I would just pick up and drag him outside and put him in the car.
but volunteering out there, trying to keep everybody going. I mean, like I said, a member of the Knights of Columbus, part of the money we raise as an organization, we do a bingo at All Hallows Church basement every Monday night.
Bingo.
Doors open at 5:30, and we do a bingo.
Yeah, we forgot about Mike's charity that he did.
I thought about that one, but I didn't know if he was still doing it because he's
He
here.
didn't do it last year, but he had done it the year before,
Yeah.
where they gave money. They picked out a couple of families in town.
Oh, at Christmas
Christmas
time.
time.
Christmas time. Yes. I changed. Matter of fact, there was a gentleman who had a car that ran, but he couldn't afford a new battery. And he was the type of person who was taking other people to get their medicines and to doctor's appointments. He was using his own personal car to help his friends and neighbors to get places. But the battery in his car was no good. So Mike, that was part of Mike's charity one time, and I changed out the battery. The charity bought the battery, and I changed it out for him.
Nice.
So it was just those little things that Mike was doing for a while with
Yeah.
Do It City Savings Bank.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's correct.
So I don't know what his plans are for this year. But
I don't know. He didn't do it last year. I
yeah,
don't know why. But
he
I know he was in the process of trying to become a nonprofit.
Yeah, I think it was a technical reason. It
Yeah.
wasn't. Yeah.
So I'm
Yeah.
not sure if he got that through or not.
because he knows that anything like that I can
Someone's
do
watching.
for something like that.
Yeah.
The first people he's going to call is me. To repair, fix, adjust, carry
Yeah.
something, whatever you need me to do.
Yeah.
So I'm
Anybody else got out there? Got
Yeah.
anything?
Anybody else got anything out there? I mean,
pretty quiet.
Are we on SNSN this time? Yes, it says we are up there. It says SNSN, and then it says Facebook right at the top. So, wow, we don't have a lot of followers. I might have disappointed.
I guess maybe
too many
because
people
As soon
yesterday.
as you started talking about volunteer, they all
Yeah.
everybody
Yep.
took off.
Get out of here. Yeah.
No, I don't think so.
Huh?
I don't think so. And we got Kathy saying donating.
Donating blood.
I got a gallon in, and then they told me I couldn't donate anymore.
No one wants mine.
I had an enzyme in my liver that they weren't sure about, so they told me. not
Get a
to
bad enzyme?
Yeah, I don't know what it was. They said most likely it's an enzyme, something to do with my liver. I got a letter about a decade ago. But prior to that, I mean, I was in high school. Hey, I can get out of class. Lead me. No. But then what was nice is my science teacher, Jim Vaca, he'd be there too, donating. And he goes, "You ready?" Yeah. And we'd race, see who bled faster. Who got done first? It was just a
That's
joke.
a good
that we
race,
did every
yeah.
year in high school. We did it 3 years in high school. He's a great guy. We would donate that way. So by the time I got to a gallon, I mean, I wanted to do more, and that's what I say. That's a great idea.
Yeah.
My sister got me into that because when I was young, she's older than I, and when she would go, "Oh, I'm going for a ride. Where you going? Donate blood." And I said, "Okay." So we'd go up to the National Guard Armory in Norwich back then, and that's where she would donate.
Well,
So I'm like, wow.
I know you said no firehouse stuff, but we have the cadet program.
No, I didn't say no firehouse.
Yeah,
I'm
fire
just on
cadet
official.
program.
Fire cadet program.
Yeah,
There
where
we
the
go.
kids
get the
from-
kids going. Yeah.
Yeah, and we're
No,
looking
it's-
at
yeah.
starting a program at the high school
Yep.
where they can start learning after
Yep.
school, the fire club,
Yep.
and then they can carry it over to being cadets at the firehouse later on.
Yep. Yep.
So-
Even cadets
Yeah.
at the fire department in Plainfield, it's 16.
Yeah, we do 14 if your parent's a member,
Well, that's what we do.
and
too,
then
if your parents are a
15,
member.
16, 17.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So it's the idea that if you have a family member who is, because
And
we've had siblings,
Yep.
an older brother who's been in the department for a few years, found the younger brother wanted to start, and that type of family stuff.
And it's
So that we
helped a
know.
lot with not just membership, but the kids in general.
Well, yeah. Oh, that brings up a topic I am very fond of, and I wish it would happen. It almost happened when I was EMR.
Mhm.
I was MRT back then. I talked to the principal at Plainfield High School and suggested that Charlie Langevin back then that they take the program on for seniors. Oh yeah, Paul's got to go.
I gotta go.
He's got an appointment.
I have an appointment.
I gotta get
So-
a haircut.
Yeah.
Something you don't do too often.
No, I said I shaved it a little bit last night.
Oh, wow. Let's save you a few bucks.
Yep.
So
Have fun.
I suggested to the principal and then the gentleman who was in the chief, assistant chief, deputy
Mhm.
chief, one of the chiefs, and Killingly was teaching the program. And I suggested the two of them. I guess the two of them got together. They talked about it, but it didn't work out. But it's just something that I think entry level
Mhm.
can be high school. It's a class that can be.
They can be
viewed
high
as
school,
kids.
yeah.
Yeah.
14 years old to be an EMR.
A friend of mine from the Plainfield Fire Department, she's quite a bit younger
Mhm.
than me. She was an EMT before she was 18. She had all the certs, she had everything, but she couldn't practice till she was 18 because you got to be 18 to be an EMT, I believe.
No. I was 16 to be an EMT.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, maybe my understanding that. Maybe it was 16.
I was
'Cause I know
16
she
years
was,
old. Yeah.
She was a cadet at 14 in the department.
and
So
you could be
maybe
an
it was
EMR at
16.
14.
Maybe that's what it was.
MRT.
Okay. And then anyway, so she got
Yep.
through high school, and that
Mhm.
gave me the impression of, and then I took the course. I'm going, yes, this could be a high school course.
Mhm.
So the local schools could put it as a extracurricular type thing that they could, teach kids, and then kids coming out of high school, if they're, let's say, an EMT, and you're coming out of high school looking for your first job, and you say, well, I'm an EMT. They're going to, and there again, we go back to the companies having an EMT on staff
Yeah.
that are an employee for something else, but they're not getting paid for the EMT, but
Mhm.
they're there. So that's another asset I think our children can work from.
Yeah. I would think we're going to try and do that at Griswold this year, probably for the high school. So that should be pretty interesting for kids to get involved in, and then they can volunteer. So,
Yep.
And it helps out the community tremendously.
Yeah, and that's it. That's like Kathy was saying. Cadets are younger members and newer members had the blast at the muster.
Yeah, the muster you guys just sponsored.
Yeah,
That was great for them. They had a blast.
Team building and communication skills they developed during that. These kids.
Yeah.
So it's. I mean, I know cadets are limited to what they can do, but when it comes to the drills and the
Mhm.
trainings that are in house and the different events, they can participate in and
And-
learn a lot.
Yeah,
of
and
stuff.
Connecticut's raised what they can do now.
Yeah.
Because they recognize that, hey, you're actually holding them back. It's not being productive. So
Oh,
they
really?
raise some of the things they can do. They can wear air packs now in training.
Really.
Yeah, they can go into limited burning stuff. They
Right.
can.
But this is all under supervised.
or with an instructor standing right next
That's
to
what I'm
them.
saying.
Yeah,
Supervised
it's 100%
individuals,
safe.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
It's someone who has had all the training, the
Yeah.
years of training.
Yeah, and they've
that
been
they're
trained to
standing in.
teach.
Right, and they're trained
Yeah.
to teach, and so
Like
they're
for instance, our the daughter, all three of our kids in the fire are members of the firehouse.
Yeah.
And she was like, "No, I want nothing to do with firefighting. I just want to do EMS, this and that." We did our annual required live burn.
Yep.
She went in and sat with an instructor because she never even put an air pack on yet.
oh, there you go.
Yeah, not even like just putting it on without a mask, just.
No.
And she put it on, went and sat in the burning with going over the head and stuff with the instructor sitting there, and they're watching learn fire science while they're sitting there.
Yeah.
And she came out and she loved it. She wants to keep doing it. So
And that's it. It's
great
sometimes it takes that
experience.
first experience.
Yeah,
Because I'm fire police. I'm not one of the brave ones who goes in the building, but I do help with a lot of social.
which
and
keep all the
environmental
firefighters and EMS safe.
Well, that's my job.
Yeah.
I stand back. If you see me at anything, even like the active shooter
Mhm.
drill we did this weekend, you'll see me. There's everybody over there, and I'm way out here by myself because I take personal pride in watching all these heroes.
Mhm.
I'm about to cry. I watch all these heroes that I consider. I get to watch their back.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. We get to
That's
stop
my-
there, keep everybody away while they're doing the work.
That's my personal pride about
Yeah.
being in the fire department. You know, I'm going to be the first one to do as much as I can to make sure you guys are.
Well,
all
they
set.
look at it as the first line. You know, you're the first line of defense as a fire police officer.
Yeah.
You know, keeping the scene safe.
Because that's where I take the pride. That's why
Yeah.
I've been doing it for 17 years.
But
And
again,
you know, I'm not able to get to your level.
yeah.
You
But
know,
again,
the
you're
situation's
but
stopping me.
you're
So-
doing something just as important. It's something everybody can volunteer and do.
Because people used to say you're a firefighter, and I used to say no. Well, I'm not a firefighter, but in a sense, I am. I'm not a firefighter who goes to build. I'm a firefighter to support the firefighters.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's my personal.
Like I said, there's something everybody can do to volunteer. Doesn't have to be one that just people that just don't want to go into a burning building.
And-
All right, we do EMS, do rehab, do fire police, do outside firefighting.
Yep.
It's a new certification actually.
Yep.
Outside supplemental firefighting.
Yeah, exterior firefighter.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
Yep.
it's something everybody can do.
And I try to tell people too is, you know, fire police is just one thing you can add to your
Mhm.
experience in the fire department. When we had just about 5 years ago, we had a fire police class in Plainfield, and there was 14 members of our department that sat down and took it. Although
Wow.
I'm the only one who was just fire police, even the chief took it. And it's just the idea of that getting that certification so you understand the whole process, from
Sure.
square one to square two, to right to the end, you know. And I think it's great. Let's see what we got here. We got some more comments. We got off on firefighting, but it's a good thing to talk
Yeah.
about. We got donating blood from Catherine. We got Bags of Hope, Connecticut, from
What's that?
Michelle. Michelle Sokolask.
Mhm.
Jeez. Her husband and her son are in the fire department with me. They're the ones that got me into
Sokolaski?
Sokolaski.
Yep.
They got me. That's why I know so much
Nice.
about Bag of Hope, because of Michelle and her husband.
What does it do?
That's the one.
Oh, that's
where
it right
the
there,
Bags of
right?
Hope-
Yeah.
The Bags of Hopes, where they're for the foster kids.
Okay. And that's just a motorcycle ride?
That's a motorcycle ride fundraiser that they're
Okay.
doing. And, you know, they do car washes. They do all kinds of different events
Mhm.
to raise money for Bags of Hope. And this is Michelle talking about Bags
Nice.
of Hope again. So it's great.
Where do they
Um,
ride through?
I don't know where the run is. I know I believe they're going from Plainfield to the same location.
Okay.
So I don't know a lot about it. That's why I said, you know, go online to
Mhm.
bagsofhope.ct.org,
Nice.
and you'll find out so much more than I know. Because like I said, I support it, but I'm not a member of it.
What about the American Legion? Do they do stuff too?
American Legion, yes. Matter of fact, I went to a steak dinner last Friday night. American Legion Post 91 in Moose Up, raising money for Little League.
Okay. Excellent.
I don't know. Do they still have Big Brother, Big Sister programs?
Yes.
They do.
I've heard of them being around. Yeah.
Okay.
That's a big one too. I don't know if it's as popular as it used to be, but those were great because you can go and mentor and, you know, be with kids that don't have an adult figure to really.
You know,
Take
be
care of
that,
them.
be
Yeah.
that, be that person that they can depend on to just hang out with
Yep.
and be with. Someone
one that's not
dependable.
thought about a lot is foster parents.
Foster parents.
Yep.
That's hard because some of the kids are just in the situation they're in, and some of the kids are having such a hard time
Mhm.
dealing with it that the emotional issues are
Yeah.
a big thing for foster parents.
Like
And that's why Bags of Hope wants to be able to do something, even if it's just a little something. to
I
make
had a
difference.
couple of them. One just passed away, and we kept in touch all these years.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Yep.
Wow.
Yeah, she just passed away, and we were 4 years. I was 4 years old probably 3 years old when they fostered us, and all these years, the whole time, we've kept in touch.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's cool.
It's a very powerful thing and very important to kids. that
Yes.
they have
To have that connection with somebody.
and this. I think it's hard for the foster parents too,
Of
because
course.
they got to take these kids, take care of them, and then pass them along back to.
Yeah. to
And then you
someone.
lose
So
that,
where
yeah.
do you lose that connection? But
Mm.
there was, when I went to high school in Plainfield, there was a foster care home right down like 2 houses down the road from when I was in high school. And there was 3 boys living there, and they had newspaper routes. They
Mm.
all wanted to go on vacation.
Oh,
So what do we do with a newspaper route? So my brother and I just did their routes for them while they were gone.
oh wow, that's nice.
We didn't do any money. We just,
Yeah.
just to make sure that it kept going for them.
Nice.
That's even in high school.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. Just, like I said, sometimes it's not it's not big to you, but it's big to someone else.
Sure. Yeah.
Makes a difference.
100%.
Yeah, makes a big difference.
And we got what's his name walking up and down the road all the time volunteering.
Oh yeah,
I forget his name, but nice guy. He was just doing the back parking lot.
yeah. Wonderful guy.
Yeah.
You know, that's and no one ever said, could you? He
No,
just
he just does it. Yeah.
why does Jewett City always look so nice? You know, with no trash in the gutters and
Yeah.
the sidewalks looking good. And he'll even what is his name? I'm sorry, I forgot too.
Yeah, I forget. Yeah.
Somebody know his name, tell me please. I feel bad for I'm terrible with names to begin with. So but yeah, so it's the idea that having people who try to do things without even being asked. Those are the wonderful ones, you know, that he's been doing it for years.
Sure. There's lots of things people can do. They just have to look.
Yep.
Trying to think of anything else. Someone's got to have something out there.
Oh, it's the Griswold Senior. Kathy's saying the Griswold Senior Center is
Yeah.
involved in several charities that help the citizens year round.
Yeah, you can go up there and even play with them.
Yeah. Yep. You know, you can
They'll
go,
love to have someone come up and just sit down and talk with them. And
yeah, just and that's the other thing. Unfortunately, a lot of seniors can't get out as well as they used to.
Yep.
And just to have someone to chat with and tell them their experiences. Because when I was a kid, just me again. When I was a kid, I lived upstairs. My grandparents lived downstairs. My dad and I lived, family and brothers and mother lived upstairs. But anyways, I'd go downstairs every evening to listen to my grandparents talk. My grandfather was involved with politics. My grandmother was a cook in at the Villa Maria in Plainfield when it was the gray house to the left of the building. She was a cook there, and she talked about her cooking and her sewing, her knitting, and all the things she does. You know. So it's like just so go find these other people to talk to. You know, older people with experiences can pushing the wrong thing. Can help you. And I keep putting the same one up again. Okay, something went wrong. I got to look when I'm doing. Don't try it. Oh yeah, soup kitchens. Soup kitchens.
yeah, what's
are
the
a great
closest one?
idea. There's one in Central Village.
Is it? Okay.
Yep. Right in front of the condos of those big brick building condos in Central Village by where the subway and all that is
Okay.
right there, just heading north of that intersection in Central Village. On the left is a church that has a soup kitchen.
Is there one in Norwich too? Right. I know there's one. I
Yeah,
don't know if they got rid of it.
Uh,
I know they got rid of the shelter. but-
yeah, it is. I'm not sure about Norwich. I haven't gone down there lately.
I think they have a lot of other things in Jewish City people don't think about in Griswold in general, or the Matt's Mission, the other
There
thing,
we go.
the van.
Oh my gosh, we didn't mention
No.
Matt's Missions. We're sitting in the building where
I
Matt's
know,
Missions
yeah.
is.
Just
Matt's
popped into my
Mission is
head.
here
You
in
mentioned
this
soup
building,
Yeah, you
in this
mentioned
building, and we didn't even mention it.
Yeah,
Oh,
you
wow.
mentioned soup kitchen. It just popped into my head.
Well, that's good. That's
And
good
the,
because
um,
I definitely wanted to talk about
What's that?
Matt's Mission.
Griswold Pride. I don't know if they're volunteers necessarily, but Griswold Pride.
Yep.
They have I think a couple of people that come out for Griswold Pride are volunteers, I believe.
Yep. Yep.
So
You know-
there's a couple different ones. The other one that goes with Matt's Mission, they kind of group together.
And it's the idea that even if the topic's hard, we can still recognize them and try and help.
Yeah, they're still volunteering their time to try
know.
and do something they believe in.
That's right. And sometimes it's not what you think it might be. It might
Yeah.
be stuffing envelopes. It might be getting online and texting back to someone who asked something. It's just
There's a lot of things people can do that every organization,
Yeah. because when years ago when I first started joined the fire department in Plainfield, I was the guy who was polishing all the trucks constantly, and I had life was a little different for me.
Yeah.
And I would do all kinds of great things down there, repairing and fixing things and all this other stuff. And guys coming, oh, nothing to do. I says, when you're not looking,
Yeah.
there's always something to
telling
clean
the
and
kids at
move.
the
and
firehouse, you come in to play PlayStation and do stuff, you just pick something up, clean it.
Yep.
That's all. Just something simple, small. Doesn't have to be this long project.
Yep.
Something simple. The little things can go a long way.
Okay, Laura says St. Vincent de Paul is the soup kitchen in Norwich in
Okay.
the old St. Joseph's School building. Oh,
Okay.
there we go. There's one in Norwich.
Bingo.
That's why I'm glad everybody's been responding today because I can
Well, it helps.
that. Yeah. Yep. Special Michelle's back with she says Special Olympics.
That's a huge one.
find out where you can. And the thing is, if you want to know anything about volunteering, this is one way I love about finding out things. It's called Google. I don't know something. The first thing I do is throw it. If I don't know a word, I throw it on Google because it'll show me the definition.
They'll be more than happy to tell you how you can help them.
That's it. That's it. And all these organizations, when you get in touch with them, you look out there. It's all out there. People put it out there, and you can look and find something.
And they'll train you how to do the job. You don't have to even have to do it.
That's right. And I say, anytime you can get education for free, do it. And back at the firehouse, and people that come in and they're not sure if they want to do anything, I says, well, why don't you become fire police and we'll direct traffic and do scene safety and we'll do a little, they're not this big intense thing. It's something that's important. It's very there, but it's a little lower key most of the time than what everybody else is doing in the fire department as far as a standard thing.
Sure.
And they come in that way, and then they start observing, and then they start going, no, I don't want to be fire police. I think I'm going to go EMT, or I think I'm going to, but it gets them in the door to feel like, and then there are people who've come in and done EMT and got certification and did it for a while and then moved on to something else in the department. So let's tell them,
come to a couple trainings, check it out.
That's it. And that's the thing. Come to the trainings,
check it out, see what you like.
Find out when your local department has trainings. Try and get there a little bit before their scheduled time, and they'll talk to you about membership. Definitely.
Tell them Tuesday nights. Griswold and Jewett City. Tuesday nights.
Wednesday
actually happens to be tonight.
Wednesday is in Plainfield. Yep. Wednesday nights at 6:30 in Plainfield.
Yeah.
So it's the idea that if you can do all this for your local community, you're going to find when you get on the road, you're going to be a little more, patient with the guy who's not driving so well, because you're part of the community and you're part of the people who help it.
And you'll learn a lot about other people that you didn't know.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Why's that guy always been a jerk? Then you find out why, because you go to his house for something.
Right. Because he's got something that's making their lives not quite so well. And you understand that.
So there's a lot of different aspects to the volunteering that you can help you out. And you just got to go out and check it out.
Oh, it's Wednesday. Victoria says Wednesday nights in Sterling.
There you go.
There you go. I know we've done a lot of fire department talk today,
but it goes around.
I didn't want to say we're not going to do it, but I wanted to make sure we got other things in before, because with Rich and me here both being in the fire department, I think we're going to talk a lot about the fire department. So,
but it goes along with volunteering and all the other organizations too. You got to put your time in to help the community, no matter what. Yeah. Because then you're not a community.
Well, that's it. And if you want to give a little, it makes a difference.
Yeah.
Everybody.
It can even be the local government.
Yeah.
There's a lot. I saw some people on here that are involved in the local governments, where you get committees and other things. And one's on the board of ed. I saw one running for selectman. I saw one. He's on the planning and zoning and other things. Yep. It's all community, and it takes a lot of time to do that stuff. But you can put in as much or as little as you have time to do. But it's all important.
Yeah. And that's the thing, you don't have to feel like it's something you have to do all the time. Yeah. It can be something you do some of the time and still make a big difference.
The committees are, depending on how involved you want to get, or 2 hours a month.
Yep.
So no one can say they don't have that. And then, like you said, little leagues.
Yep.
Soccer's, all kinds of different sports.
Michelle says coaches for the kids for sports.
Exactly. Yeah.
There you go.
Those are extremely important in the community. Yeah. Probably almost more important than some of the other ones, because how many kids play sports? And you're molding them for the future.
And that's another thing with sports. Also, I like to see the creative side of things like music and art and stuff like that.
Yeah, we didn't even mention those. Yeah, a lot. Yeah,
if you can do a lot of the different organizations, like I say, it's school system. Who knows what it could be?
I saw the choir director at the high school.
Yeah,
he just started an adult choir volunteer organization in Griswold. So now you can go and sing in the adult choir, because they didn't have that before. Yeah. So that's a lot of different things taking shape now that COVID's over and people can go back to being human.
Yeah, it's like in Plainfield, the senior choir, you have to be 55.
Okay.
They consider a senior 55. And that's usually, when life is a little easier for people who are raising children that are older. Yeah. Traditionally, not so always, but older, and they have a little more time in their lives, and it works out well.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a lot of fun.
So. There's a lot of things you can do. You just got to look. Like you said, use Mr. Google for something productive. And
that's right. That's right.
Do it.
you know, and like I said, I got my video game, the one, the one video game I play. You know, it's a free cell. That's it. My one video game. But I do, you know, when I'm sitting in a waiting room, I'll pull it out and play free cell.
Yeah.
You know, because what I like about free cell
Those
is
have their place.
there's thousands and thousands of combinations of the game, but technically every one can be solved. That fascinated me. That I gotta work on this so it gets solved, and sometimes it's 4 days before I get a game. So
Wow.
yeah. But that I like the challenge. I
Yeah,
like the challenge.
that'd be
All right.
great.
Anybody else got anything out there? We got. Let's see who else we got out there for. I'm not getting any more volunteers. Any other organizations?
Gotta be some volunteer stuff out there.
Oh, there's so much of it though, and it's also wonderful to see that people are willing to give that much of their time and effort. You know,
I know one that's really hurting is the town committees. They could really use some people to step up and get new fresh blood in there.
I wonder if there's something we can do, the local communities can do with the school systems.
Probably.
Can the politicians visit in a learning capacity, teaching about social responsibilities of being part of your community?
At the schools?
Yeah, imagine first selectman.
That would be a great
first
idea.
selectman made visits to the school, and I'm not saying
Not
you know,
politicking, but
have
teaching, right?
right,
Yeah.
and not having a having the auditorium full and all these kids into the classroom.
Mhm.
And not a lot of them, just at a certain grade level where it's going to be effective, you know, which would be probably junior high, I would guess,
Maybe. Yeah.
from my experience working with students. Junior highs, you might make the impression on quite a few kids who like, really, I want to check that out. You know, it could be any of the board of selectmen, the different committee leaders in town, going to the school systems and making it, you know, 2-3 times a year during the school year to do a little politics.
Kind of like a social studies education type
Yeah,
thing.
you know, some kind of class like that they could come in and be a guest speaker to, you know, to talk about it.
Yeah, that'd probably be
You
awesome.
know, getting kids to understand that the local government's not just something over there.
Yeah, and I think the real life experience.
It's all of us.
Yeah,
It's all of us.
Yeah.
Yep.
real people, real education, real questions and answers.
Yep.
Yeah, that'd probably be great.
That's what's nice about it.
Yeah.
You know, I think if everybody could try and figure out a way to just do that, just simply volunteer.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see what Kathy's got here. Just simply volunteer to clean up your neighborhood.
Sure.
Organize and clean up day, your family teams. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
they do have
Just-
that in Grizzled and Jewett City.
Yeah. Just get, 15, 20 kids in a neighborhood to go around and just say, okay, instead of just riding our bikes around or sitting on our video game or whatever we're doing,
Yep.
we're going to take a day and we're just going to go out and
You'd
pick
be
up the
like,
streets.
get out. Hey, these are the woods. You can go clean them.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
We'll teach you how to walk in them now.
Yep.
Yeah.
So just things like that. I
Yep.
mean, I grew up at the edge of the Patchogue State Forest when I was a kid. So it was like nature was just like there. It was part of my backyard practically. And almost physically. And I just had so much fun just being out in the woods.
Wow.
Checking things out. Oh my God, picking up snakes I probably shouldn't have picked up. And,
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
We used to go into the woods all day, all night.
Yeah.
We used to sleep in the
Well, we
woods.
did too,
Everything. Yeah.
But it was on Beachdale Avenue. We were the last house on the right, Beachdale Avenue, Voluntown. And then there was a house at the end of the road, and then behind that's Beachdale
Mhm.
Pond. And then you could walk over the two dams, and then what we called the point was this part of the land that projected out. And we'd fish, we'd camp, we'd have a little respectful little campfire right there. We'd make sure we took the rocks and we
Mhm.
laid a nice bed before we even put the rocks around it, and it kept it safe. Had a bucket of water, and we'd always sit there and we'd fish, and we cook the fish right there on it, on the sticks and stuff, and eat the fish for the night. It was great.
Yeah. We
You
used
know?
to do all that. Let's
But
listen
there was
to the
nothing,
coyotes howling.
all we
It
had was a
great.
tree for the bathroom.
Yeah.
But we tried our best to make things
Dig a
work.
little hole.
There you go. There you go. And had our little shovels and
Yeah.
our gear out there, and it was fantastic. It was a great place to be.
One summer we spent the whole summer almost in the woods.
But I was lucky.
It's
I
great.
could, as long as you got permission from the parents, I could do that anytime I wanted. It was physically there, and it was part of the state forest that was not like part of the park part.
Yeah.
You know, it was like at the border of the pond.
Mhm.
So it was part of the park, but it was, you know, it's part of the forest. And we were right there, and we had the pond to fish in, and we had, you know, a little lantern sitting there and fishing, catching our bullheads and
Mhm.
and cleaning them and eating them right then and there.
Our
you
parents
know?
used to ask, "What are you doing home?
Yeah.
What are you doing inside? Get out!" Yeah,
Yeah.
it's not dinner time. Go.
It's too loud in the house. You guys got to get out. Well, nowadays they're not loud. They're on the video game. Turn
Yeah.
the video game down. Okay.
Well, the headsets too. Yeah,
Yeah. So,
that's good.
so I just want to thank everybody today who has been, let's see, excuse me, who has been pitching in with this volunteer day. Tomorrow's topic, I don't know, but technology has worked for us today, and I'm hoping it works tomorrow, which it should. It's pretty dependable, except for when some reason we had a power outage on over the weekend. So I just want to make sure that everybody realizes that volunteers are out there, volunteers are needed, volunteers are part of our lives, because we wouldn't have a lot of things
Yep.
without the volunteers. So I think, you know what, I am going to mention to Kevin Cunningham. He's probably watching. I
Probably
hope he
usually
He
is.
usually is. To see if he has time. Busy man. Oh my God, his car's always at the town hall. Busy man. Works really hard. Just to see if he would consider going to junior high and having a little, just 10-minute chats with the kids, or if he does, maybe he already does it and I don't know it.
It's possible. Yeah.
But yeah, he's the one selectman I know a little bit. He knows who I am, so that's enough.
Yeah.
So
Remember, Tuesday nights you can always go up to the firehouses and check them out in town here.
Tuesday night and Wednesday,
6:30.
Wednesday night in Plainfield, Wednesday night in Sterling, or whichever, if you're one of the local people in those areas, just go and chat and talk with the people, and
There's many
see
different
what
jobs.
they do. Check out the trucks, take a little tour, see what's going on, fill out a membership paper and just start the process. It's not,
I mean, you can do whatever you want. There's many different jobs.
yeah, there's so much to learn. There's so much you can learn in the fire department that is free education.
Yeah.
It's free programs you can do. So I don't know. It's got to be other organizations we're not talking about here. There's got to be so many of them, but
All of them.
Yeah.
All of them.
yeah,
They all need volunteers.
yeah. But there's others that we haven't mentioned. I can.
Oh,
imagine
that's
out
probably
there.
thousands.
Yeah, yeah. So, but
Don't
it's
have
just-
enough time.
It's nice to, in our hour, but we tried our best. And I don't know what the topic is going to be tomorrow, but I think if we can maybe have everybody.
I know
come
what my
in-
topic is.
Oh, what's that?
Snoozing.
Oh, you're going to be sleeping.
Yeah.
Is Kathy here tomorrow? Do you know?
I have no idea.
Okay.
Yeah.
Paul said he's going to be back tomorrow. So I'm
Yeah,
just
I'm not
hoping
sure.
it's hard. It's not, as long as people are online, I guess I could do this by myself, but I don't think I could talk to myself.
It's hard talking to yourself.
Yeah, it is. Especially
I
when
do it all the time and I still don't get talked
Yeah.
back.
No, well, it's only dangerous when you start talking back. You actually realize you're talking.
Like Kathy says she'll be here tomorrow.
Oh, good. We'll have Kathy tomorrow and Paul. Good. I don't know what we'll bring, but we'll bring something.
Bring the breakfast.
Bring. I mean, for topics for your breakfast is a good idea. I usually don't have time before I come. All right. Thank you, everybody. We're just running at the 10 o'clock hour here. And I hope you all had a good time. And thank you for being part of the show. And we'll be back out tomorrow.
Hey, giddy up.
Goodbye.
All right. Say goodbye.
Goodbye.